Assalamu alaikum students. Today we are going to discuss another very important topic towards partition in Pakistan 1940 to 47. The 1930s had been a journey of discovery to create a separate identity for the Muslims of India, whereas the 1940s became the struggle to achieve that identity in the shape of a separate state for the Muslims of India. In this video today we are going to discuss the Lahore Resolution that was held on 23rd March 1940, the role of women and children in Pakistan movement, the Quit India movement 1942, the Jinnah Gandhi talks, the elections of 1945 and 46, the independence and partition, and eventually the Independence Day. Let's begin the discussion with the Lahore Resolution of 1940. This resolution was held in the Minto Park, Lahore, where 100,000 Muslims gathered to listen to Mr. Jinnah. I'm going to quote a few lines from his address that day. The Hindus and the Muslims belong to two different civilizations, which are based mainly on conflicting ideas. To yake together two such nations under a single state, one as a numerical minority and the other as a majority, must lead to growing discontent and the final destruction of such a state. Unquote. Now let's discuss why the Lahore Resolution was passed and why it was so significant. The gist of the resolution was essentially the demand for a Muslim state comprising of geographically close regions. The idea of the formation of a separate state had shaped itself into a clear course of action. And this resolution rejected the idea of a united India and demanded a separate state for the Muslims. All Muslims by this time shared one vision, one dream, which was of a separate homeland. Mr. Gandhi reacted and thought this idea of partition meant the vivisection of Mother India, and Mr. Nehru named it as a mad scheme. The role of women and students in the Pakistan movement. The role of women and students in the movement for an independent Pakistan is equally important, especially for the Lahore Resolution onwards. Amongst the women that were actively engaged included Miss Fatma Jinnah, Begum Rana Liaquat, Begum Shaista Ikramullah, and Begum Salma Tasadduq. These are just a few names who supported the Pakistan movement and went on to serve Pakistan in various capacities after independence. On your screens, you can see the images of Mohtarma Fatma Jinnah, Begum Rana Liaquat Ali Khan, Begum Jahan Ara Shah Nawaz, Begum Shaista Ikramullah. All these images are also present in your books on page 77. After this started the Quit India movement of 1942. The Quit India movement was meant to disrupt the working of the British government. But the Congress got just one day, as on the next day, on 9th August, the government arrested Mr. Gandhi, Mr. Nehru, and most of the Congress leaders, though by the time the movement was called off, Enough damage had been done to government property and precious lives were lost. Mr. Jinnah's reaction to this Quit India movement was that he added an extra word to it: divide and quit. On your screens, you can see pictures on the left of a women's procession in the Quit India protest, where thousands of women are gathered for the procession. On the right, there's a picture taken of Mr. Jinnah and Mr. Gandhi in 1944, just 3 years prior to the partition of the United India. The Jinnah Gandhi talks of 1944. When Mr. Gandhi was released from jail, a meeting between him and Mr. Jinnah was set up at the latter's residence in Bombay through the efforts of Mr. Rajagopalachari, a former Congress Premier of Madras. Mr. Jinnah had taken the initiative by saying in the Muslim League's meeting in Delhi, 1943. Mr. Jinnah Gandhi talks highlighted an important development in Hindu-Muslim relations. Mr. Jinnah was recognized as the sole leader of the Muslim League, a party which would negotiate on equal terms with the leader of the major party in India, the Congress. Then come the elections of 1945 and 46. Clement Attlee announced elections to both the central and provincial assemblies in India, which all parties decided to contest. The election results proved momentous as they decided the future of the Indian subcontinent and its partition into two separate states. The elections also demonstrated that Muslim League's success in convincing the Muslims of India that a separate Muslim state was the only solution for them. The divide in the voting was clearly visible. Muslim League won the entire Muslim vote in the elections, while Congress won all the non-Muslim votes. The Muslim League had proved that it was the sole representative of Muslim India and that Congress represented the Hindus only. Independence and partition. With the Congress and Muslim League's acceptance of the 3rd June Plan, the British Parliament passed the Independence Act in July 1947. This marked the end of the British Raj in India. The Act provided the directive of the creation of two independent dominions of India and Pakistan. The government of the states will follow the Act of 1935 till the constituent assemblies of the new states frame a constitution. The Independence Day. Lord Mountbatten had hoped to be the Governor General of both the dominions of India and Pakistan. But Mr. Jinnah disagreed with it and decided to be the first Governor General of Pakistan. This would make the world view Pakistan as a sovereign independent state, separate from India. On 7th August 1947, Mr. Jinnah flew to Karachi to be sworn in as the Governor General of the nation he had founded against all odds. He stepped off the Dakota aircraft, accompanied by his sister Fatma Jinnah. The land that Muhammad bin Qasim had conquered in 712. On 14th August 1947, Pakistan came into being. Thank you.